Okay, so next step, we should choose the UPS that suit our CCTV scenario, right? So here you need to understand that the UPS capacity is more related to the max power you can reach from your load, right? And from the previous video, we already calculated that our max power in our case is 36.4 watts, right? So what we need is really a number near that max power. So you can see that from our experience and our experience on the market, especially when you deploy the CCTV system in outdoor, you have to reserve some space there, not let the load max power reach the peak power of the UPS. For example, if my UPS is 200 watts and you put the 200 watts load, it's not that good idea because when you reach 200 watts, the system will work at 100% time of the peak load, and which will generate a lot of hot. And because CCTV system we deployed in outdoor, right? So hot is the heat is very sensitive, you know. So we try to keep the heat there. On the other hand, if you keep the load like 60% of the total power, it will keep the system more stable, you know. So that's why we always recommend our customer to consider 30%, 40% additional capacity. Do not allow the UPS to run at peak times always, right? So we already know that our max power is 36.4, so we recommend using a 100 watts UPS. Okay, here is another tricky problem on the market is because you see that the CCTV camera normally doesn't request a very high power, right? For example, if the most of the scenario you will have 1 or 2 cameras, at the most 3 cameras on one pole. So let's see how much power you need, like 60 watts, and you put the switch and everything inside, probably 80 watts, right? But it's very difficult for you to find a small UPS on the market because most of the provider, they provide 1000 watts, 500 watts, this kind of a big UPS, which we think is not really necessary, you know. So that's why Edgeware is really special. We can provide the UPS that really small, scale down to match your scenario. That not only you are not only benefit from the costs, also we benefit from the heat dissipation, from the size of the device. In the end, you can put the outdoor node very small, right? That's another topic. Let's continue. So you can see that if we have 36.4, we use 100 watts UPS, which Edgeware we have, then we have a 36.6 watts left space there. And it's very important because first, as we mentioned, we recommend our customer to consider 30% or something more additional capacity. Another thing is you never know that in the future you will have some expansion. Not that this is a very common case. So you have some space there, you have some more flexibility there for the future. Another thing, to choose UPS, you have to consider another parameter very carefully, is the battery charging current. Well, I see a lot of customers ignore this part, which I think is a big mistake, because you know that if the charging current of the UPS is very small and you configure a battery a little bit big, you can imagine that if you lost power, your system is only count on the battery, and you run out of battery. Later, the power grid recover, but you take too long time to charge the battery. Then you don't charge the battery full, and the next time power offline comes, right? That could happen, you know. So we suggest that the charge current of the UPS should be should match your scenario. Not as big as possible, because as big as possible you will facing the charge current too big, and you know there's hits and the UPS will be too big. But has to be match your scenario. So this part is some design there. Every case by case will help you guys. But normally our suggestion, the battery charge time is never higher than 10 hours, 12 hours, something, you know. Maybe put it at 6 hours or something. This is our number, okay? But that's case by case. So here, don't forget about this part. The charging current, you have to calculate carefully to see how long time you need to charge the battery.